My grandma passed away, so I went to the bank to close her account. The final balance, 42 cents. The teller flashed a practiced plastic smile, pushing 40 cents in dimes across the counter toward me. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but we don't have any loose pennies right now. Can we owe you the last 2 cents? No, I said I'd like them now. A flicker of annoyance crossed her face and she sighed, her patience wearing thin. Ma'am, you're holding up the line. The next thing I knew, she hit a button under the counter. A security guard materialized and politely escorted me out. I immediately got on my phone and filed a formal complaint. That night, she put me on blast on Instagram. Just dealt with a total psycho who filed a complaint against me over 2 cents. She must be broke as a joke. She attached a photo of the transaction slip, clumsily blacked out. But my social security number was perfectly clear. Overnight, my phone was so overwhelmed with hate messages it became unusable. The next morning, I stood in front of the bank and dialed 911. I'd like to report a crime. Someone has illegally disclosed my personal information. I paused, my voice steady, and while you're at it, you should probably take a look at this bank's books. I have a feeling my 2 cents aren't the only thing they've rounded down. The police were quick to arrive. As 2 officers walked into the lobby, the branch manager was in the middle of trying to placate me. Miss Pierce, look, there's really no need to make such a scene over a small matter like this. This was our mistake, I admit. We're prepared to offer you $500 for your trouble. How does that sound? I just stared at him saying nothing. The officers approached me. Ma'am, are you the one who called? I am. I handed over my phone, opened to the Instagram post from the teller, Jessica. The transaction slip was there for all to see, my SSN clear as day. This woman, Jessica, one of your tellers, leaked my private information on social media, I explained. The comment section is already flooded with thousands of abusive messages directed at me. I've been doxxed and my phone has been bombarded with threats. The older officer's expression hardened. He turned to the manager. Get your teller Jessica out here. The manager, a Mr. Evans, was a heavy-set man whose face was already beading with sweat. He hunched his shoulders slightly. Officers, please, there must be some misunderstanding. Jessica's just a kid, fresh out of college. She was probably just venting after a long day. She doesn't know any better. Leaking a citizen's personal information isn't not knowing any better. I cut in, answering for the officer. It's a federal crime. Mr. Evans's face paled. A moment later, Jessica emerged from a staff hallway. She froze when she saw the police, but the moment her eyes landed on me, she put on a performance worthy of an Oscar, looking like the world's greatest victim. Officers, I was just complaining to my friends. I had no idea it was illegal, she stammered. I can delete the post. I'll apologize to her. She made a show of starting to bow toward me. I took a sharp step back, dodging the gesture. The younger officer, who had been taking notes, looked up at her. Your actions are a serious violation of federal privacy laws and could constitute felony identity theft. Please come with us to the station for questioning. Jessica's knees buckled. Wait, Mr. Evans, say something. Mr. Evans. Mr. Evans was busy wiping sweat from his brow, trying to sweet talk the officers. Gentlemen, can't we just handle this internally? We'll come to a private settlement. I promise Miss Pierce will be satisfied. This is a criminal matter now. It's out of your hands, the older officer said flatly, waving his partner to take her away. As they led her out, Jessica started sobbing, snot and tears streaming down her face as she screamed at me. You lunatic, was it worth it? Over 2 cents. You'll get what's coming to you. I ignored her curses and turned to the officer who had stayed behind. Officer, besides the data breach, I have something else to report. Go on. I suspect this bank branch is systematically skimming small amounts of money from customer accounts. Mr. Evans, who had just started to relax, went rigid. The officer looked at me. Do you have any proof? Yesterday afternoon, your teller Jessica, while closing an account for me, explicitly stated that of the 42 cents remaining, she would only return 40. The other 2 cents, she said, didn't matter. I don't believe this was an isolated incident. I believe it's common practice at this branch. 2 cents from thousands of customers can add up to a significant sum. The question is, where did that money go? Mr. Evans immediately shot back. That's absurd. Our bank's accounting is all computerized. Every single cent is accounted for. It's impossible. Is it? I challenged him. Then let's pull up yesterday's cash flow records and the system logs right now. Let's see if my 2 cents were the only unimportant pennies that went missing. The officer seemed to agree. He looked at Mr. Evans. Sir, if you would please cooperate and show us yesterday's records. Mr. Evans nervously fumbled with his tie, pulling it askew. Officer, accessing those kinds of logs requires authorization from corporate. A single branch doesn't have that kind of authority. Don't worry, I interrupted, my voice cool. I've already filed a formal complaint with the banking commission. I imagine their investigators will be here soon enough with all the authorization they need. Mr. Evans stared at me, his mouth hanging open, speechless. I held his gaze. I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Sophie Pierce. I'm a financial auditor, and tearing through bank records is what I do best. Jessica was detained for 5 days and fined $500 for illegal disclosure of personal information. The very next day, I got a call from the banking commission. They had formed a special task force to investigate my claim of systematic skimming of customer assets. The bank's corporate office reacted swiftly. Mr. Evans was suspended, and a vice president named Coleman called me personally. His tone was incredibly apologetic, promising a full internal investigation, and assuring me I would be given a satisfactory resolution. I hung up the phone, not believing a word of it. With institutions this big, the first instinct is always damage control. Sure enough, that evening my phone began ringing off the hook. At first, it was blocked numbers. When I answered, I was met with a torrent of screamed obscenities. I enabled a feature to block all unknown callers. Then came Jessica's friends and family. They'd somehow gotten my number and used it to find every social media profile I had. A woman claiming to be Jessica's cousin sent me over 100 voice messages. How can you be so heartless? You got our Jessica thrown in jail and you still won't let it go? You're going to ruin a young woman's entire future over 2 cents? Are you even human? Have you ever heard of showing a little mercy? Or do you just want to destroy her completely? And of course, there was Jessica's boyfriend. He was more direct. Listen up, you bitch. Drop the charges now or I'll find you and kill you. He sent a selfie of himself holding a baseball bat. In the background, I could clearly see the entrance to my apartment building. I didn't reply. reply. I just screenshotted everything. Then came a text from Mr. Evans. Miss Pierce, let's be reasonable. Jessica has been fired. You got what you wanted. The bank is willing to offer you $50,000 to let this go. Think about it. If you keep pushing this, it won't end well for either of us. You're a young woman with a long career ahead of you. You understand. The threat was clear. I screenshotted that too. They were working fast. New posts were popping up all over Instagram and Reddit. The headlines were all variations on a theme. The ice-cold auditor who drove a bank teller to suicide over 2 cents. Breaking, teller and 2 cent dispute attempts suicide amidst relentless harassment. Is the 2 cent Avenger a hero or a monster? The posts were written with dramatic flair, claiming Jessica had lost her job because of my complaint and, unable to handle my continued persecution, had slit her wrists and was now fighting for her life in the hospital. They included a photo of a wrist wrapped in bloody bandages, the person lying in a hospital bed. It was blurry, but the distinct purple dyed hair was unmistakably Jessica's. The comment sections exploded. OMG, for real? Someone tried to kill themselves over 2 cents? This woman is a demon. This is terrifying. What kind of person does this? My friend is a nurse at that hospital. She said the teller lost a lot of blood. It's really bad. So what if she's an auditor? She's just a bully on a power trip. People like her are the worst. My name, my employer, even photos from my college yearbook were plastered everywhere. My phone was unusable. The receptionist desk at my company was flooded with angry calls. I stared at the venomous words scrolling across my screen, then calmly turned off my phone. Did they really think this would make me back down? I opened my laptop, navigated to an encrypted forum on the dark web, and posted a new thread. The title was $10,000 USD bounty for information on backdoors or artificially created financial loopholes in a certain commercial bank's software system. It was a long shot, but it was the fastest way I could think of to find out where the money went.